It's time for some trench warfare.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and we have some really cool conversions to show you today. So you might remember Wargames Atlantic just kind of put out a bunch of boxes, and they have a great looking range of different historicals, but also kind of like sci-fi tabletop wargaming sort of thing too. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds depending on what tabletop you do. They're a relatively new company, but there's a lot of folks over there that, you know, have been in the industry for a number of years. So, and you know, the price point, amazing, shipping times, awesome. Like, can't say enough good things about these guys. You might remember we showed you the Greniers, or the Grognards, depending on how you pronounce it here in the States. And then we also did these Raumjägers as well. But today we have, and we don't cover historicals a whole lot, but what I thought was really cool when they hit me up about this, I was like, yo, why don't we use some of these to make some conversions for some of these? Because that would look pretty dope, because a lot of the sci-fi infantry and sci-fi just, you know, dudes in general out there are kind of based loosely on, you know, some of the late World War I Germans and also World War II Germans to a certain extent. So let's check out what they've got going on over there at Wargames Atlantic, and then kind of break down this new box and what you can do with it with these older boxes. So here's their website right here, wargamesatlantic.com. They ship out of the States, they ship out of UK. So depending on what, you know, whichever side of the pond you're on, you can get these, and they have the pricing in both, you know, dollars and Great Britain pounds as well. So just kind of keep that in mind right here. And of course they got some new releases. We haven't seen these little dwarf duders yet, but I'm hoping to get some of these in the near future. Here is the German infantry that we're going to show you today, World War I German infantry. And what I wanted to scroll down and kind of show you was, so we've showed you these death fields, right? The Grogniers and the Raumjägers. These are pretty dope right here. That this is kind of like our wheelhouse here on the channel, but they also have all this other stuff here, like classic fantasy, you know, just skeleton duders, and then they've got First Empires, depending on what historical stuff you're into, all the way on up to the Great War. And they actually do a bunch of polls, and they, you know, they really are involved in their community, which is really cool to see. You know, they're doing surveys, and they got a big announcement. I don't even know what this announcement is. I guess it already passed, so who knows, but I'm sure we'll cover it here in the near future. But let's get back to what I wanted to talk to y'all about today. Because they wanted to show off these, you know, World War I Germans. And I was like, you know, I'm not sure how they would do on the channel, but let's kit bash them, because these are dope miniatures for sure. And the amount that you get in here for the $35 is really good. And remember, there's free shipping. You can't see it, but it is on the screen. Over $50. So you buy 2 of these boxes, you're good. And they actually have bundle deals, so you might as well just don't even stop there. Just go to the $95, get you 3 boxes. Now, I'm not sure if these will mix and match. Like, say you want to get the World War I Germans, and you want to get a box of the Raumjägers and a box of the Grogniers. That might be a cool idea. I don't know if you can do that. I forgot to ask them, because I forgot they had these combo deals. But maybe just send them an email and be like, yo, can I do this? Because you could get some really cool potential conversions for, you know, whatever infantry you need out there, whether it's, you know, Chaos Cultists, or, you know, something just like, yo, let me just get some like traditional guard infantry that I just want something a little different, right? So they kind of explain like what all comes in here. And here's a shot of the sprue, and let's enlarge that a little bit just to give you an idea. And of course, we will take a look at this here in a second when I open up this box. But these are, I think you get 5 or 6 of these. I think you get 5 because there's 6 infantry, or vice versa. I forget. We'll find out here in a second. But look at all these parts that come on the sprue. So you've got all these gas mask heads right here. You're gonna get 6 gas mask heads, and there's 30 duders in this box. So it's probably 5 sprues if I recall correctly. Oh, there's a cat here. I know. And then you've got infantry, which are great. Now the only bad thing, and it's not even that bad, is these boxes don't come with bases. So you're gonna have to source your own 25mm bases, you know, some MDF cutouts, nickels, dimes, quarters. I don't even know what people use anymore, but it's not that big of a deal for the price point. I feel like it's okay. And then look at these heads up here as well. So every one of these guys is gonna have a ton of options, you know, if we were into that historical kind of thing. But that being said, look at all these options to kit bash some sweet sci-fi 40K. So here's the box set. Like I said, no bases, not that big of a deal. Definitely not a deal breaker at $35. I mean, $35 you get 30 minis. I mean, do the math on that. Like, and they're all very, very good. Hard plastic, multi-part kits. It is all the same sprue, which again, I feel like with the options on here, it's not a deal breaker either for that, to be quite honest. But you know, that was the one we already used to kit bash. Normally we do this ahead of time, but since they're all the same, I didn't feel like it was a big deal. Of course, I grabbed the ones we already kit bashed. So here it is in a living color. You can see all the different heads. Now, I don't know what these heads are called. I want to say those are Hussar heads, but you know, with a little spike on top, but probably not. But it's just an open face kind of head, and then you've got the traditional more tank helmets, you know, stuff like Deathcore, and then you've got gas mask heads over here, which are really cool looking. And then, of course, you've got your standard infantry duders right here with the rifles. Now, these probably wouldn't match up very well in sci-fi. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, you know, do something like Warhammer, but I feel like some of these options right here and these stick bombs might be pretty cool, and then you've got these shovels, depending on how crazy you want to get into it. So we actually went ahead and kind of assembled some of these miniatures right here. And you know, again, for the price point, sourcing your own bases, not a big deal. I had a bunch of 25s left over. But I mean, look at the quality on this miniature right here. This is a multi-part kit, like different arms. You know, very good quality. I'm not sure what game system you could be played in. I don't know a lot of World War I game systems, to be quite honest. But that being said, you know, perfect opportunity here for infantry. If you wanted to pop that head off, you know, maybe this wouldn't fit in with something like Warhammer 40K, but there is some other opportunities there I'm sure you could do. And then here's just your normal duder with a different kind of style head right there, that kind of like Hussar style. I want to say they're Hussar, but maybe not. I don't know a whole lot about this period of history and what things are called, but you know, I just wanted to assemble a couple of these. And there's a stick bomb and a gas mask kind of head. And you can see this is where we're going to come into the issue with some of these conversions we're about to do, but it isn't that big of an issue. There's a little bit of a neck that it comes up and meets it right there. So that's going to kind of come into play. And I do like how the mask looks to be a tad bit oversized for the face, you know, because back then this was all like new technology, air quotes, and that kind of definitely captures how it kind of went down. Now let's take a look at some of the conversions too. So first up, we built one of the Raumjägers right here, and kind of like what I was talking about, like there isn't a neck on this head, and there was a little bit of crazing because well, we built it and then put it back in a plastic baggie, like, you know, sometimes that happens. So you are going to get that when you have a sealed off environment, but it'll scrape off, or you can just file it down before you prime. So probably what you're going to want to do with the conversion, if you're using these gas mask heads on something existing like this that requires you to have a neck, is just kind of ball up a little bit of green stuff and just kind of put it underneath there and just, you know, let it sit there and kind of dry. And then you'll be fine, and it won't, you know, this doesn't look bad. This probably looks about how it should be. It's just, there's the gaps, and it's easy to see that there's a gap underneath there. But I think, you know, I think it's a cool looking aesthetic and a cool looking conversion, but you know, you can kind of see the gap there at the head, which really isn't that big of a deal. And then the Grogniers here have, you know, that really cool kind of flowing greatcoat sort of deal, and they got those really dope rifles with the bayonets on the end. And again, a little bit more less pronounced right here, but you can still tell there's a little bit of gap. And of course, when you paint it, it won't be that pronounced. But again, you might want to ball up a little bit of green stuff and put it in there. But I mean, the posing and the look to it is very, very cool. And then you can even do, you know, just a normal head right here on the Grognier, where you've got those greatcoat kind of look, and then the whole you know, Hussar kind of spiked helm sort of thing right here. And that doesn't look bad at all. That's perfect. It lines up very well, but you can see there is a little bit of gapping, but the size is right about there. So for, you know, these three, just kind of, you know, banging these out as kind of quick conversions between the three kits, you could kind of take your pick about which one you might want to use. I could definitely see the merits to all of these, and, you know, what they could be perhaps in a game of Warhammer 40K, or, you know, maybe something else out there, just kind of depending on what you want to do. So check them out. The new German infantry, you know, it's 30 dudes for 35 bucks. If anything, it's great. It would make a really great kind of conversion bits, just to kind of get some different parts and different things, you know, to kind of use maybe on your miniatures. And we didn't use one of those heads right there, but you could definitely use one of those heads too. So check them out, wargamesatlantic.com. Like I said, great shipping options, you know, free and comboing type stuff. And, you know, can't say enough good things about these guys right here. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check these guys out and go hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to give you the very first to like and comment on all our videos.